February 24th, 2022. A Russian oligarch wakes up in London, worth $2 billion. By noon, nothing. Not stolen, frozen. His banks won't answer, his accounts locked, his money untouchable. One decision, thousands of miles away. Here's what he didn't know. You think your money is yours. It's not. And in the next 6 minutes, I'll show you the 1944 meeting that still controls your wallet today. 1944. While soldiers were dying in Normandy, one man was solving a different problem. His name was Harry Dexter White, treasury economist, brilliant, obsessive, unknown. The global economy was about to collapse, every major currency destroyed by war. Trade frozen, countries printing money just to survive. Most economists predicted decades of chaos, maybe another depression. But White saw something they didn't. Not a crisis to fix, an opportunity to own. See, White wasn't trying to save the world, he was trying to trap it. And here's how he did it. July 1944, Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. 44 nations, 700 delegates, a hotel in the mountains. They weren't planning peace, they were planning power. White walked in with a blueprint. Here's what he proposed. Every currency in the world pegs to the dollar. The dollar pegs to gold. America holds 70% of the world's gold. The math was simple. Control the anchor currency, control global trade. But here's what nobody tells you about that room. The other nations hated it. Britain was broke. France was rebel. Germany didn't have a government. So why did they sign? Not because it was fair, because there was no alternative. White didn't build a partnership, he built a dependency. But White understood something deeper. A reserve currency isn't just about gold, it's about infrastructure and time. So America didn't stop at Bretton Woods. The Marshall Plan, $13 billion to rebuild Europe. Generous, yes, but there was a condition nobody mentions. Every nation that took the money signed defense agreements. Military bases followed money. NATO followed bases. By 1955, U.S. military in over 40 countries. Not occupation, invitation. Then came the institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, the UN Security Council with its permanent veto. You think these are neutral? They were built when America had maximum leverage. Countries that needed loans got them, with conditions. Open your markets, align your policies. The architecture always pointed back to Washington. And then the final piece, the one that trapped the Russian oligarch, SWIFT. The global financial messaging system, the plumbing of international money. When the US wants to isolate a country, it doesn't need tanks, it just cuts them off from SWIFT. Overnight, a nation can't pay for imports, can't receive payment for exports. No bullets fired. That's what happened in 2022. The oligarch thought his money was his. It wasn't. It was always denominated in dollars, moved through American systems, subject to American rules. He was rich, but he was never free. Now here's where it gets interesting. China has the second largest economy, nuclear weapons, massive military, and they're trying to break free. The yuan, Belt and Road, alternative payment systems. But it's not working. Want to know why? Because the dollar doesn't dominate through force anymore. It dominates through inertia. The dollar works because everyone uses it. Everyone uses it because it works. Breaking that loop requires every nation to simultaneously rewire their entire financial system and agree on which alternative to use. That's not a policy decision. That's a civilization-level shift. America's real power isn't its military. It's that 80 years ago, Harry Dexter White convinced the world to build their plumbing around the dollar. And now, tearing it out would collapse everything. You think this doesn't affect you? When the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, your country's debt gets more expensive. When the dollar strengthens, your imports cost more. When America decides to sanction a nation, your gas prices go up. You think you live in your country, but your wallet lives in America. The price you pay for milk, the interest on your mortgage, the value of your savings, all of it denominated, influenced, controlled by a system designed in a hotel in New Hampshire in 1944. Harry Dexter White didn't just trap oligarchs and nations, he trapped you too. White died in 1948, a heart attack or maybe poison. They accused him of being a Soviet spy. Doesn't matter, because the system he built outlived him, outlived the Cold War, outlived the gold standard, outlived every challenge. Not because it's perfect, because it's infrastructure. And infrastructure is almost impossible to replace. Most people think American power is aircraft carriers and Hollywood, but the deeper trap is invisible. It's the currency in your wallet, the rate on your country's debt, the system that decides who gets frozen and who gets paid. America didn't stay a superpower by being the strongest. It stayed one by making itself everyone's foundation. White's dead, but now you see what he built. The question isn't whether you're trapped. The question is, now that you see the architecture, what do you do with that knowledge?